All right, hi there. You guys don't know me. I'm a new guy, new YouTuber, but I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot of people debating online. So for those of you who don't know, there's been a couple new trailers released for the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, and one of them shows, I think the latest one shows Peter entering his apartment in his Spider-Man costume, takes off his mask, and it turns out his best friend Ned is there to find out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Now, one of the things I've seen a lot of people debating online is why didn't Peter's spider sense go off to let him know that, hey, you got a guy in your room who's going to figure out your identity. Why are you doing this? Now, there are a couple of things that a couple of theories I'm going to postulate based on why this might have been. But first, let's talk about the spider sense in the comics. And to do that, I have this. It's a book I got when I was like 10, maybe even younger than that. This is where my love for Spider-Man came. He's my favorite superhero of all time. I love him, so I'm very excited for this movie. Let's talk about it. So, let's go to the Spider Sense page here. It's a very old book, as you can see, as the median is kind of ripped here. But overall, it's actually in pretty good condition. I've basically tried to keep it as best as I can. Alright, costumes, that's not it. Daily Bugle, web slinging, strength and ability, wall crawling. Here we go, spider sense. Ta-da. Oh, there we go. Okay, so basically it says, yeah, so it says here, he may not know if you've been bad or good, but he can always sense when you're dangerous. Spider-Man possesses many incredible abilities, but his most amazing power must be his uncanny spider sense. This strange tingling sensation, which originates in the back of his skull, warns him of danger. The danger could be something immediate, like a gun being aimed at him, or a punch being thrown at the back of his head. Or it could be something subtle, like a slippery floor on a sandwich that contains tainted meat. Okay. While his spider sense cannot tell Spider-Man the exact nature of the particular threat, it always lets him know when and which way to move in order to avoid the danger. Spider-Man's spider sense is like having a personal radar unit. He doesn't have to worry about watching where he's walking or web swinging because it always guides him away from danger. Loose ceiling tiles or rotted rooftops don't trouble Spider-Man because his Spider-Man warns him in plenty of time to avoid them. Even if he were trapped in a complete darkness, his spider sense would prevent him from bumping into anything. And Spidey's spider sense tingles if someone can see him web slinging out of costume, warning him that he may be spotted. Let me see. Okay, so here's something that can. So here's one point here. It says, although it takes a conscious effort, Spider-Man can ignore his spider sense. Now, let's talk about that in relation to the movie. Okay, so there's a couple of things why I think the movie is showing why Spider-Man just waltzes into his room willy-nilly. The number one reason I'm going to postulate here is based on Spider-Man himself. In Civil War, it stated he's only had these powers for a few months, and therefore he's still probably not completely adjusted to them, meaning that he's not adjusted to a spider sense. And I'm going to point to the airport fight scene in Civil War as an example of this. As we saw in the fight scene, he was able to sense the fact that Bucky was going to throw something at him, as shown in the movie where his eyes go, what? And he's able to dodge and go, hey buddy, I think you lost this, and toss it back. So that, for me, that was the clear indication his spider sense was working. But a few minutes later, when Falcon decides to kick it in the back, Spider-Man doesn't dodge it because I'm guessing his spider sense didn't go off or he wasn't attuned to it. Another classic example would be Ant-Man and Cap's shield. As it was established, Peter's spider sense went off, knowing something was going on, but before he had a good chance to react, Ant-Man obviously goes big and kicks him in the face. Another interesting part that I will talk about is the fact that Cap is throwing his shield and Spider-Man doesn't see it coming, obviously. So I think that it's in-universe, it's Peter still trying to adjust to it. But another thing is that the movies can't really accurately depict the Spider-Sense, because if the comics are to believe, Spider-Man is very impossible to hit if his Spider-Sense is working to full capacity. Now, obviously, there are a few exceptions. In the comics books, if anyone can move faster than Spider-Man, they can outpace his Spider-Sense. A good example of this is Scorpion. Scorpion is able to take on Spider-Man because he moves faster than Spidey and therefore is able to beat his Spider-Sense by a few seconds. Another example is obviously the Venom symbiote. Because it once bonded with Peter, it has been able to nullify Peter's Spider-Sense, meaning that Carnage, Venom, and any of the other Spider-Man or symbiotes can just waltz up on Peter whenever they choose. Another good example is when Norman Osborn gassed Peter, disabling his Spider-Sense for a bit. So the Spider-Sense can be countered in terms of if someone's faster than him, or if he's been exposed to gas, or like I said, if you're a symbiote. But in universe, as the book explains, he has to take a conscious effort to ignore it. Here's my theory. My guess is that the Spider-Sense was not only going off for both Ned and Aunt May. Because here's the thing. Peter lives with Aunt May, and he's been going out on a nightly basis, or what have you, being Spider-Man, and when he's coming home, the Spider-Sense is probably going berserk, telling him, hey, you got a person in your home who's going to see you. And he's going, well, yeah, but it's my Aunt May, and she's not going to see me. I've been keeping this from her for a long time. So I'm thinking that's what happened. He didn't know that Ned was there, and so when his Spider-Sense is going off as he's approaching, it's going off to both Aunt May and Ned, but Peter thinks it's only going off for Aunt May, and he's ignoring it. That is the best explanation I can provide for that clip. If it is working. If it's not, or if, I think it's still working regardless, but either Peter still hasn't quite figured out how it works, or he has, and he's just saying, well, it's only warning me of Aunt May, and I've been keeping the secret from her for a long time, so one more day is not going to hurt. But that's kind of the theory I have. Thank you for watching, I guess. Spider-Man Homecoming comes out July 7th. To theaters, I'm definitely going to be seeing it on that day. I'm so excited. Oh, God. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.